So, it's the Chapter 3 end event and people were hyped.
RPG? Oh my!
As poor as this event went for Fortnite, I think they actually got some things spot on. So in today's video, we're going to look at everything they got right and everything they got wrong, and hopefully answer once and for all, was this event really that bad? This chapter, in Chapter 5, the roadmap for the entire year was leaked. But at the FNCS Invitational in 2022, they announced Thatcher, which came out of nowhere for many. But in 2024, at this point, the elite chapters are pretty much a guarantee. The quests in Chapter 3 Season 4 were pretty good as well. Had a great start with the 7 going missing and Paradigm jumping into a 0 point trying to escape the Chrome. We had the Herald reveal as well, and that was really cool. We spent the season being guided by John Jones, and at this point a slightly annoying Amy missing her daddy. Paradigm sent us a message through a tree, and we sent one back. Paradigm mentions the nothing, and also mentions this really cool line here.
If there's a way through this, we'll need to know everything about this. Starting with the Chrome.
Which to this day I'm pretty sure that she was going to say, we need to know everything about the army of the last reality starting with the Chrome. Which makes most sense. I feel like the 7 should have known quite a lot about the last reality since they had the Origin, so why would they need to know any more? But it seems like the Origin didn't really know much about the Chrome. Also, to add to this point, we could have known more about the army of the last reality if Triarch Nox in a later season, in Chapter 4 Season 2, didn't delete all the information that the Syndicates had on the army of the last reality. So for this to be hidden makes sense further along, but it could be something else. And before I start going down the rabbit hole of storyline, it does make you think what the hell the Peace Syndicate was doing in this season if they already had that information available and didn't provide it to the 7. The Origin did say we can't trust these Syndicators, to be fair. What we do know is X told them the next phase in their plan would soon be in motion. Anyway, less about that, more about the event.
Be always vigilant. When we have need of you, you will be summoned.
And yes, this season we finally got the reveal of the Nothing. Or no, this is where I feel like Epic during their event made the first mistake. For whatever reason, Epic decided in the pre-event lobby to have a TV. Obviously, that season it was kind of synonymous with the Nothing. I remember kind of saying, I wonder if the TV will get consumed by Chrome before the event starts and then we start talking to the Nothing. And this wasn't the only false hope that Fortnite gave us. The actual artwork for the Thatcher event that advertised it showed us this, which didn't really come to fruition either. Which did involve one of the main characters that season with the Nothing quest, Bytes. And strange enough, a Peace Syndicate member in Twin, who apparently was waiting for the next phase in their plan. Of course, Twin and Bytes were part of the Battle Pass that season, so they could just randomly use both skins. And it doesn't stop there for Fortnite, because Fortnite Twitter at the time decided to do these really stupid shorts in hindsight, which showed the majority Chapter 2 Season 2 skins, which obviously got everyone talking about the possibility of, at that point, Midas returning. There was obviously a few sort of other points in that. The restaurant at Syndicate Shoals, stuff like that, people thinking he's X, and nothing coming from that at that point. And to be fair, still not. Guys, Midas is dead. He's in the underworld at this point. What are you doing? So let's actually get into the Thatcher Live event. Now, the rendered scene here is actually some of Epic's best work. The moment we've finally been waiting for the Chrome to ascend and take over the island. Which leads us to see the Herald emerge from the Chrome tornadoes. And this is just poetry. How the Herald walks in, her overall demeanor, this really shows the true power of the last reality. Like, I have no issues with the moment where it looks like they won, the euphoria before the despair. That's obviously intentional. For complete dejection from the loopers. The point they knew it was completely over. Like, I've always felt we could have had a bit more of a collision approach where we had rendered cutscenes as well as third-person gameplay. To be actually there on the reality tree standing against the Herald. and move between that and the cutscene. But I feel like I know why they completely did that section as a rendered cutscene, because I feel like you would be unable to convey the emotion within that scene if it was to go to a 3D gameplay back to a cutscene render. For example, if we take the Chapter 2 end event and we use the moment where we fight in the Cube Queen's army, if that was a rendered cutscene and we can see moments of the Cube Queen up close, wouldn't that have been better? Or, for another example, if we were in the room where Dr. Sloan and the Foundation was having that moment, would it have been worse if it was a gameplay third-person sort of viewpoint? Now, we talk about one of the most controversial parts of Fracture, and that is Zero Fusion, collecting the 0 point fragments to put the 0 point back together or something. Although Paradigm says something during this event as to why this scene may have been deleted. You and the team need to restore the 0 point before anyone realises how vulnerable we are. Although the fact that the Herald just destroyed the island actually makes this whole line irrelevant anyway. Although they could have worded it like, you and the team need to restore the 0 point before anyone finds us again, as it is hinted during this event, like we are far from home, this reality has tacos, and a few other lines suggesting that they had moved from their prior position and location within Reality Zero, or realities in general, because the last reality should know that the Herald succeeded, as this scene should have been there. Now, the flashbacks are the most illogical part of the whole event. Due to the vast timeline and time frame the flashbacks hint towards, what is Fortnite trying to portray here? Fracture didn't really nail anything shot. The 0 point was seen being enclosed in Asteria, so it wasn't the 0 point. The 7 are constantly hinted at returning anyway. The Paradigm even said in this event, if you ever see the scientist again, tell him I understood the risk of Zero Fusion, even though the Paradigm herself saw the scientist get chromed. He didn't really nail their story shot, or no, I could argue one point here, as Chapter 3 did actually end one thing, but it's rather confusing if you don't know the whole entire story. Now, the Herald did destroy Artemis, but because of the flip side, Apollo was also destroyed. But if you do remember, the Chapter 1 map also created both of the previous maps, so when the Herald did this, it signified the end of that map's existence, in the sense that Athena created Artemis and Apollo. The fact that them two were destroyed signified the end of that timeline structure between those maps. Now, the end of Fracture, we did get another cutscene, which showed the new island Asteria coming together. Now, I've got nothing to say about this. This is, again, one of the best trailers that Fortnite have ever produced. And arguably did also hint towards some things happening in the future. Like this scene with an IO drill, as well as an IO tank, and of course, a temple. Now, my conclusion, if I was to rate the two cutscenes, it's got to be near on a 10 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10 for both cutscenes. I still find them really good and some of the best work that Epic has done. I don't think generally you can argue with any of these cutscenes. The beginning, we show the Herald taking over the reality tree and taking over the island, and as well as Paradigm being successful with Zero Fusion. But combine all of these with the 40-minute section of gameplay makes this event a real puzzle for me. Like, they had all the elements to make this one of the best events that Fortnite has ever done, but the execution failed dramatically, and it's one of the worst events ever. I will always say, if they literally put the two cutscenes and of course jumble it up with some actual real gameplay scenes of us on the reality tree, and of course mix that in with less of a 40-minute gameplay and more maybe a 5 to 10 to 13-minute gameplay, and maybe throwing in some cutscenes of maybe Paradigm before Zero Fusion, might have improved things. Guys, comment on this and I will try and reply to your comments about Fracture and probably general live events. I feel like for Chapter 5, Fortnite has really turned things around with live events. I know there's a few people, not to name any, who says that Fortnite should have more live events, how, you know, Collision is and stuff like that. But generally, I have no issues with what they've done with Pandora's Box, the Titan Hand, and how they're progressing the story along. Like this season, we still got part of Pandora's Box playing the main part. Season 1 with Valere going after something which turned out to be Pandora's Box then being used to bring in the Greek gods, and then of course Pandora's Box bringing in the Wanderer, and still we have Pandora's Box playing a main point of this season. Fortnite has never done that. So when people are attacking these events this chapter, I find it absolutely crazy. They're not even considering this point of view. Like, this is more chapter 1 based style with of course the rocket introducing the visitor taking off, the cube then coming through the visitor's rift, the cube then revealing the vault, and then so on and so on. They haven't done that since chapter 1. So oh my god, give Epic some props. Anyway, comment on the video. Has been your boy Mr. JY. Till next time, bye bye.